Hey, what's up, you guys? Thank you so much for joining my pick a card reading. Today's topic is, what energy do I need to release? So we're going to go over the energy that's blocking you from moving forward, and then at the end of your reading, we're going to go ahead and see the essence of the energy that you need to tap into so you can remove the old and bring in the new. So you'll know the old that has to get swept away, and you'll know what new energy needs to get brought in. Please pause the video so you can choose a number that corresponds with how you're feeling. Don't rush. Once you have chosen, go ahead and fast forward to the timestamp located below. Once again, if you enjoy my videos, please like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. Let's get started. For those of you that chose group number 1, let's see what energy you need to release and what energy you need to welcome in. We have the past is a prison, the 6 of Swords, the Magician, the 8 of Swords in opposition, the King of Swords, and the Magician again, the Ravens. Okay. There's a couple things. The first thing I want to point out in this is, I don't know if you noticed the eye that's in the middle of the tree. So it's very significant for me because it's sort of like that watching energy. And I feel like that's with the King of Swords. And you have the Magician again. The Magician sort of like watches their environment, and they set back and they take a long time to make decisions, and they sort of allow their self to be like trolleyed or led on a journey by some external force. There's a lot of Swords energy. You have the opposite of the 8 of Swords, you have the 6 of Swords, and you have the King of Swords. So there's way too much mental energy going on where you're sort of like stuck in this energy of not knowing how to move forward because you feel like you are trapped by your current circumstances. So you're constantly sitting there wondering, how can I manifest something new for my life? What else is there? You're like refusing to let go of your unhappiness is what I'm feeling with all this. Because let me talk about the opposition of the 8 of Swords is feeling bound by your life, but in sort of like this free fall type of way, whereas you literally believe that you have no one and nothing but yourself, sort of like you believe that life has everything to do with where you have already been, and if you don't create tomorrow is not going to happen. So tomorrow is going to be just like yesterday unless you can figure out how to plan and prep for tomorrow. So it's almost like you're constantly in this phase of planning your life, where if this was in the upright position, there's an interconnectedness with all of this mental energy that forms a commitment. So without see how you turn it upside down, and it's sort of like they're trying to get to a point, but they get stuck in this intersection of creating. So it's almost like, I feel more than anything, I know how this says like the past is a prison, but the main key point I'm focusing on, especially with the surrounding cards, is the refusal to let go. And that's of control. This is a very controlling energy. This is like judgment. This is a man or a person who judges everything down to the fine little thread and wire of like how something operates, their relationships, the way their food tastes, the way their house is kept. This is a very meticulous, almost pretentious type of energy when it's used in excess. And the only reason why I'm saying this is excessive is because of the surrounding cards. So his energy becomes pretentious, entitled, obsessive compulsive, to even sanitation. I have to wash my hands every 5 seconds because I'm germophobic. It's like this person becomes an enemy of themselves. And that's where I pick up on this with the bitterness. You become bitter to your surroundings. You form this escape route. You're trying to escape. Definitely trying to escape your own life any way that you can. But because of a refusal to let go, like you're refusing to really look at the past as just something that existed and what it taught you, and then move on with your life. So overall, an energy of this card is escape. So you need to escape, and also letting there be an idea that you don't have to commit yourself to anything. Okay, so this is definitely an energy you need to release. This is being non-committal. This is an energy you need to release. This is an energy of, well, I tried my best, but I don't really need to put any more effort or work into it because it didn't work out. That's false. Everything in life that's worth having requires some sort of effort. It requires repeated attempts after failure, and saying, well, today I didn't manage to do well, but there's tomorrow. What's going to happen tomorrow? So this is also an energy that needs to be released. And because you have it twice in 2 different decks, this is very significant for me, because this is a person who believes that they are their own manifesto, that there is nothing outside of themselves that can make anything happen. And it's a very negative, cold energy. It's very much like living in an icebox, or living with a person who has no emotion, no concern for anyone else, no care for anything else other than their own standard and their own way of life. And it can be very miserable because there's no fun, there's no excitement, there's no happiness. I feel more than anything that the reason why you're always trying to escape the day with what tomorrow can be, and really not committing to tomorrow being a retry of today so that you can get it right. You get stuck in what has failed you in your past, or what relationships failed you, and you believe that if you don't completely change everything about tomorrow so that it has nothing to do with what happened today, then you're always going to be unhappy. And it's a very false doctrine or false teaching for yourself, because it isn't true. Sometimes you have to give the same day, the next day, a shot and just do something different. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into what energy or essence that you need to tap into with the rune. So you have Kaunas, the torch. This is perfect. It's like the fire, illumination, forgiveness, purification. This is lighting the way. This is the light at the end of the tunnel. This is the energy of adding a new element into your life that not only allows you to feel the warmth from feeling like so cold, so bitter, so begrudgingly, so mad at the world that you're not going to commit to anyone. You're going to escape. You're going to create your best life. This is a fire between two beings. This is a warmth. This is passion. So overall, the energy you need to release is controlling every single aspect of your life down to the way a table is wiped down and embracing passion. Okay, for those of you that chose group number 2, let's see what energy you need to release and what energy you need to welcome in. So we have reason, 7 of Swords, the High Priestess, Queen of Pentacles, 2 of Swords, and the 5 of Stones. I love this spread. This is beautiful. Let's talk about something for a second. So we have the Reason card. Have you ever been around that person, because this is the energy you have, who says, I did this because, or this is why I did that. And they think that because they have a reason or a methodical approach or some sort of like strategy behind it, it makes it okay. So it's very difficult to move forward in your life if you always have a reason or an excuse for why something couldn't work out. That's this energy. The 7 of Swords. It's about thinking that you're getting away with something, but you're leaving behind this evidence for others where they peer into your life and they see where you could have made a different decision and things would have worked out. So it's about releasing this energy of, I know everything. That's the High Priestess. I know it all. I know everything. You can't add value into my life. I already know what I'm doing. However, you're stuck right here. This is like, actually, you don't make decisions. You just talk about making decisions. That's why this is an energy you need to release. Reason. Sometimes you have to just throw caution to the wind and let someone else add their opinion or add their thinking or their thoughts into your life for the betterment of yourself, or for you to be able to just sort of let your hair down and relax a little bit. This is a very impoverished energy. The 5 of Stones, this is feeling like you have nothing. But if she was to just raise up her head from her knees and stop thinking about everything that she wants, and she views what she has, she would be extremely wealthy. This is like spiritual poverty. And I feel like I want to say spiritual poverty rather than like a lack of wealth, because you have this, and she's extremely wealthy. She has a lot of material possessions, and she's very wealthy. She's very generous. But for some reason with these together, this is like some sort of bankruptcy, or this is some sort of like shift that happened where you're no longer in control financially, and you think you're at this great loss. But it's also about not relying on your own ability and letting someone else take the lead. This has everything to do with not deciding for yourself how you want your life to be ran. And that's with what this card is. All this. This is beautiful. This is like, I'm not going to let anyone tell me anything. So when I wake up in the morning, I want to go to the store at this time, or this is where I want to work. This is what I want to wear today. This is who I am, and take it or leave it. But deep down inside, there's this spiritual poverty where you're not actually getting the most value from your life. And that's sort of like where this stale energy comes in, because this energy sort of like pops up like, I know deep down inside that that's not really what you wanted to do. Even with her arms crossed here over her chest, she's like, please do not peer deep inside of my heart, because you're going to be disappointed, because I feel like I have nothing. In my heart, I feel so sad, and I feel so broken, and I feel like I have nothing. Everyone thinks I have all this stuff, and I'm so rich, but I'm not. And it's because you reason too much with who you are as a person. You try to like force who you are as a person onto other people, but deep down inside, you really don't even know yourself. And the way that you live your life isn't really who you are or who you want to be. So I feel more than anything, this is like, you know, stop using your intellect. Stop trying to discuss or debate your way into feeling confident about yourself. I feel like you try to like discuss and debate your way so that you can feel confident. So people see you as this person, this rich person. You know, she's one of the most lonely of all the court cards. The Queen of Pentacles, even more lonely than the Queen of Cups, because everyone thinks that she has everything. Everyone thinks that she's wealthy. Everyone thinks that she's rich. People feel insecure around her. They don't ask her to go anywhere. They don't want to be around her because they feel poor when they are thinking of asking her to go somewhere. They feel like they don't have enough for her. Deep down inside, here you are, the truth of you actually project this overly wealthy person because deep down inside you feel like you have nothing. So do you see how it's like a false energy? So you need to release like this fake. It just feels very fake. This energy of, I want people to think I'm rich, but I don't feel that way. I want people to think that I'm intelligent and that I know where I'm going, what I'm doing, but really I don't know where I'm going or what I want, and I don't listen to my intuition. Okay, so let's see overall what energy you need to tap into. More than anything, I'm going to say the energy that needs to be released is this false image and this false confidence. If you need help, then you have to ask for it. If you need someone to raise your spirits, if you need a reminder of that you actually do have this beautiful personality, that you don't need to have money for people to be your friend. Because what you truly are capable of, and your security and your great qualities and your strengths, is in like you as a person. Not because you have money and you can go to all these cool places. So the energy that you need to tap into is Othelia, ownership. This is all about where you come from. This is all about tradition. being an inheritance of culture, being an inheritance of, and when I say culture, I'm not talking about your race, and I'm not talking about, you know, rubies and diamonds that are passed down from centuries, and you have all of your jewelry in a safe somewhere. No, 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 no. When I'm talking about ownership of your culture, and I'm talking about the passion in you, I'm talking about the essence of who you are, but because of where it's been passed down from. And that when you could stand in your barrenness, you could stand in your nakedness, and people will step back and they'll see where you come from. So I feel like this is a beautiful energy to tap into. And sometimes when you downsize and condense your life to the bare minimum, you really tap into the wealth that you have. And this is no longer a facade. This Queen of Pentacles energy, this is where people understand the generosity of you rather than the possessions that you have. Okay. For those of you that chose group number 3, let's see what energy you need to release and what energy you need to welcome in. All right, so we have rebellion, the 9 of Pentacles, the 9 of Swords, the 6 of Swords, the Hermit, and the 9 of Spirals. Wow, 4 9s. So let's talk about it. Okay, reoccurrence of 9s. This is too much independence. This is, you are indulging in independence, releasing personal fulfillment from independence, releasing mental anxieties from introversion, releasing inner illumination from being in solitude and isolation for far too long, releasing weathering the storm, meaning I can do whatever I want because I'm always going to be okay because I have myself to rely on. Releasing the need to escape reality, releasing this, you know, I want to talk about this because I have, it's such an interesting energy for me, because I feel like rebellion in a slight is sort of, it's necessary. And moderation in all things, right? I'm a big fan of temperance. But if this is an energy you need to release, this is like there has been some sort of order that has been trying to establish its way into your life, and for whatever reason, you are dead set on doing the opposite of whatever is being asked of you. So if a person tells you, you know, let's say you're in a relationship with someone and they say, I really need you to call me at 9 p.m. tomorrow night because we need to discuss something important. You will call that person at 10 a.m. the following day. So and I know it seems like extremely petty, but I feel that you rebel against the orders from others because you have an overindulgence of independence, to the point where you literally, yeah, it's sexy energy, but like, whoa, where does another person fit in? They're like, I want to be in your life, but I can't, because you sit up late at night worrying about problems that you don't include anyone in the mix of it. You don't let anyone know what's going on. This is introversion to the degree of you literally are thinking the worst possible case scenarios by yourself, and someone calls you on the telephone and you're chipper and cheerful like you just won the lottery. A person cannot add value into your life at that point. No one can add value. Most importantly, you're not even adding value to yourself, because if someone wants to, relieve you from your anxieties, they can't, because you are not allowing yourself to talk about it with others. It's an over mental independence. Weathering the storm is beautiful. Coming out unscathed from a storm is beautiful. You don't have a mark on you. There is nothing wrong. It's beautiful. But it's not when you rely on that over the need to reconcile a relationship with someone else. So this is an overindulgence of being okay with relationships not working out. Knowing there's always someone else. Knowing you always have yourself. Saying, well, it's okay if we get into a fight tonight at dinner because I can watch a movie by myself and relax, and I won't even miss you or worry about if we are watching the movie together. That's an overindulgence of independence. It's taking the person or the people that you have around you for granted. At what point does his lantern die out? When does the candle reach the bottom and he believes he's enlightening others, or that he's becoming enlightened, but he's walking around like a fool in the dark, tripping over his robe because he can't see, and now he forgot his way home? This is that lost soul energy that happens of an overindulgence of hermeticism, an overindulgence in wanting as much as you possibly can get from isolation, to where you start turning into like the cuckoo bird. No one likes to show off. No one likes a person who gallivants into the room in their flashy sequin gown with all of their jewels and talks about their trip that they just had in Tahiti, where they went by themselves because they didn't want anyone to go with them, and they are swimming in the lap of luxury because they chose themselves over everyone else. It's a turn off to yourself, because at some point you have to remember that there are other people in the room who don't have the same lifestyle that you do, or don't have the luxury of being able to afford that trip, or there are people maybe that are sitting next to you that just lost someone to death, or there are people that are going through, severe damaging situations, but have to go to the same party and don't really understand your glamour. So sometimes it's about toning down your happiness, not because someone's trying to dull your shine, but because you're compassionate to the fact that there's other people in the room. But that's just an energy that needs to be released. So I'm not saying this is you. I'm saying this is how I'm reading it. If this is an energy, and with the reoccurrence of nines, you have 4 nines. This is an overindulgence and independence that's not beneficial to you or the people around you. And with this is escaping reality. This is a bill collector calls you and says they're going to turn your phone off, and you go out and buy a new MAC mascara, or you go buy yourself a brand new pair of suede shoes and a fancy tie, so that you're escaping reality in a way where you can indulge the unconsciousness of your spirit that the reality needs to change, because things need to change in the reality. All right, so I feel like we covered the energy that needs to be released. So let's let's find out what energy needs to be embraced. Okay, Wunjo, to satisfy. This is all about union, getting help with your work, a sense of togetherness. It's about faithfulness in others, to satisfy, to please others. This is perfect. This is bringing in that focus of how do I impact someone else's life to satisfy them in the same satisfaction that I have always known or that I have always given to myself, in order for us to have a better relationship, or in order for me to really get the most satisfaction from life. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Please like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much and have a good night.